It seems like every week we hear another story about the Provincial Growth Fund, and a lot of them are the kind of stories the government probably doesn't want us to be hearing. This week we've heard allegations of a conflict of interest for the minister in charge of the fund, Shane Jones. Just before Christmas we heard stories that a whole lot of trees were mulched because they were approved for planting in land that just wasn't suitable. Now, despite these stories, the Provincial Growth Fund does have merit, but the stories also illustrate there's a lot of risk associated with it. One of the big risks is what you might call politically motivated spending, which is kind of a polite way of saying spending money to buy people's votes. It's a pretty key risk that we need to protect against, and one of the ways that you do that is with really good evaluation. Evaluation is kind of a boring sounding word, and it means spending money on boffins, and nobody really likes doing that. But you can think of evaluation as being like insurance. We pay insurance to protect the value of a major asset like our house. And in this case, it means testing a policy to see whether it's delivering outcomes that are actually useful or outcomes that actually serve a politician's agenda. Now, the worrying thing is that when we did research into the Provincial Growth Fund, we couldn't find any publicly available evidence of the right kind of evaluation being carried out. So we think the government needs to add a requirement for any project more than $10 million that it only gets approved if it's already got a rigorous evaluation plan developed. It's really important to get this right. If the government makes a hash of this, they're not just wasting $3 billion, they're also wasting the opportunity to have invested that money on teachers' salaries or hospital upgrades or new drugs that we could buy through Pharmac. This kind of policy casts a really long shadow when you get it wrong too. Just think big under the Muldoon government. That changed the trajectory of economic development policy for a generation. There's a real risk that the Provincial Growth Fund could go the same way. The government needs to make some changes to the fund, and they need to make them now.